Hi guys, the president of Colombia, Gustavo Petro, made a bizarre speech in the UN calling for legalization of cocaine and claiming that it will save us from global warming. Literally, I'm not joking, it's probably one of the most Orwellian speeches of this year, and you need to see all the highlight to understand that we are living in a quite dangerous times where crazy Marxists like Petro can be democratically elected. I use the official transcript plus Google translation. I come from one of the three most beautiful countries on earth. I wonder what are the other two countries, North Korea and Cuba? Well, Colombia is nice, but only in places where no one lives. Everywhere else is kind of a dangerous slum. Well, the people are still nice. My country is not only beautiful, but also violent. How can beauty be combined with death? How can the biodiversity of life erupt with the dances of death and horror? Who is to blame for breaking the spell with terror? Who or what is responsible for drowning life in the routine decisions of wealth and interest? Who leads us to the destruction as a nation and as people? I guess the leftist policies, uncontrolled birth rate, lack of strong government control. Am I guessing right? My country is beautiful because it has the Amazon jungle, the Choco jungle, the waters, the Andes mountain ranges, and the oceans. There in those jungles, planetary oxygen is released and atmospheric CO2 is absorbed. One of these plants that absorbs CO2 among millions of species is one of the most persecuted on Earth. At any cost, its destruction is thought. It is the coca plant. This is mind-blowing. First of all, jungle doesn't really absorb CO2 permanently, it just keeps it in a biomass as long as the tree is alive. After the death, it will be decomposed and CO2 will be released back into the atmosphere. Jungles are important because they have multi-layer life, which creates a bunch of biomass. When you cut the jungle and substitute it with coca plant, which is basically a bush, you decrease the biomass by 100 times. That releases 99% of the rest of CO2, you stupid moron. To destroy the coca plant, they throw poisons, glycophosphate and meth that runs through the water. They arrest their growers and imprison them for destroying or possessing the coca leaf. 1 million Latin Americans are murdered and 2 million Afro-Americans are imprisoned in North America. Destroy the plant that kills, they cry from the north, but the plant is just one more plant among the millions that perish when they unleash fire on the jungle. If you're still confused who are they, these are obviously greedy American capitalists. The guy is advocating to legalize cocaine in the name of US social justice. That's bizarre. The space of coca and the peasants who cultivate it because they have nothing more to cultivate is demonized. For you, my country is of no interest to you except to throw poisons into your jungles, make men to jail and throw your women into exclusion. First, why peasants in Colombia can only grow coca? I wonder why it's not the case in Europe or in India. His conspiracy theory is that US uses cocaine addiction to subjugate racial minorities and women. And by the way, the growth of coca in Colombia grew 3 times in the last 10 years. Imagine how much of jungle was destroyed. How stupid should you be to believe in that kind of bullshit? What is more poisonous for humanity, cocaine, coal, or oil? The opinion of the power has ordered that cocaine is the poison and must be persecuted, so it's only caused minimal deaths by overdose and more by mixtures of that is ruled clandestine causes. But coal and oil must be protected, so that its use can extinguish all mankind. Why don't you start from your own country? Let's stop all the oil productions which gives Colombia 7.5 billion of income yearly. Addiction to money and possessions has another face. Drug addiction in people who lose the competition, in losers of the artificial race they have transformed humanity into. Well, you have countries like North Korea and Cuba, which are exemplary societies, and they are actually drug-free and money-free, and I bet people there are super happy about their democratic choice. The disease of loneliness will not be cured by glyphosate on the jungles. The jungle is not to blame. You might wonder why Petro accused the US of destroying Colombian jungle. Is Biden and NATO secretly throwing the poisonous glyphosate on the jungle to destroy coca plants at night? Well, not exactly. I read the article and basically the story is that US wants Colombia to do something to destroy coca fields, and incompetent Colombian government came up with this strange strategy to spread chemicals on the field using planes, which surely can damage neighboring jungle as well, but not really because the area is quite limited. Then activists pushed to end this program, and since the production of coca grew 3 times within the last 10 years, the US suspended $500 million foreign aid to Colombia. Now Perto wants to have US money back, and that's why he used this Orwellian explanation. They invaded Ukraine, but also Iraq and Libya and Syria. They invaded in the name of oil and gas. I don't remember Russia invading Iraq. Ah, he's talking about the US. Yep, indeed, US invaded Ukraine to get more oil and gas. It doesn't really matter that Ukraine has no oil and tiny amount of gas. What a piece of shit. If you observe that the people are filled with hunger and thirst and migrate by millions to the north, toward where the water is, so you lock them up, build walls, deploy machine guns, shoot at them. They expel them as if they were not human beings. They quintuple the mentality of those who politically created the gas chambers and the concentration camps. They reproduce 1933 on a planetary scale. 1933 is the year where Hitler came into power. When Russia accused Ukraine of neo-Nazi regime, you can go even further and accuse all the Western world of being neo-Nazi. Amazing. Plus, if you Google for migrant at US border, people are rather fat, very different from the pictures from Auschwitz. I'm not sure if migrants are coming because of the hunger. I call on you to save the Amazon rainforest in its entirety with the resources that can be allocated to life worldwide. If you don't have the capacity to finance the fund for the revitalization of the forest, if allocating money to weapons is heavier than to life, then reduce the foreign debt to free up our own budget space, and with it we can carry out the task of saving humanity and life on the planet. We can do it ourselves if you don't want to just trade debt for life by nature. There is a theory in Latin America which they use to explain why it's so poor and mismanaged. They can't really blame colonialism because it was 200 years ago, so instead they use so-called dependency theory. The global capitalists keep these countries poor using various schemes to keep them out of competition, including foreign debt. Now the guy asks the US to forget all the foreign debt of Colombia so that he can save the planet with cocaine. I'm basically speechless. Instead of spending his old age in mental rehab, this former Colombian guerrilla is running the country of 50 million people. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you think, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and bye.